is today's Chakra Wisdom Tarot card. One of the things that I want to say to you that I think may be important here is that when we look at this deck, I really encourage you to take the journey of that intuitive chakra part of you. Because one of the things, and I especially know this with people who know just enough tarot, I know that some people are like just enough to be dangerous, right? So what we want to do is we want to separate out the idea that things have to match. So the first thing you want to do is get the idea out of your head that this has to be a 6 chakra card. It is in this deck. And this is the way this deck's energy is flowing through, not to you. So the idea is that when you vibrate with a deck, the energy is going to be able to interpret it in such a way that it's going to speak to you about you, and therefore about you and the person you're reading, if you're reading a client. So the first thing I want to say about the 6 of Cups, I want you to notice here that in the traditional tarot, the 6 of Cups means nostalgia. What's very interesting about this deck is I want to point out to you that this one really doesn't belong in this deck. She's almost a time traveler. Because if you look at all the outfits and all the women, she really does not kind of work with the idea of this fantastical world. She almost is a time traveler. She feels very much like a spiritual messenger to me. And one of the things I do when I look at a chakra, I also look at the energy around the card. Now, as we look at this, this is a 6th chakra card. I'm going to yawn because I always do when I'm reading. Oh, okay. So when we look at this as a 6th chakra card, what becomes the real conversation here is that this is family of origin. It is nostalgia. It's pulling back from the past and rewriting magically the gifts that we've been given for our own benefit. See, one of the things that can happen, especially if we've suffered some kind of trauma from our past, is that we look at the experiences that we've been offered as trauma, and we really can't see that they are actually our gifts, right? Now, we've heard it said, lip service, oh, it's really a gift. Okay, that's fine. But it's hard. It can be hard to see it in the moment. When we look at the 6th chakra, we really look at how these 6 cups, are actually floating in time. Now, when you pull the 6th chakra, a 6th chakra card, 6 of Cups, we know that Cups is about emotions, and we know that because that's the suit. Now, let's look at this as a chakra reading. So we've got the 6th chakra card here. And in this case, sometimes, I think a lot of times I'll look at this as somebody who is really in the point of being a conjurer, meaning they can pull to them experiences that they want to, but also this can be a time of recreating the meaning we made of a particular experience. So, as you know, because we're always talking about a wheel, when we talk about chakra, it's always on a wheel and it's always moving. So because this is not going to be a static reading, we look at what the card was right before. Now, if you remember the 5 of Cups in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's the man looking at the spilled cups. And yet there's, there are 2 full ones behind him. Here we can also interpret this woman as not seeing any of the cups behind her, and she's just disappointed, right? So this also can be an emotional disappointment, but I want you to look at this as a chakra. In the 5th chakra, we are communicating that. So what do you think she's communicating? Some kind of emotional disappointment, right? So when we take that emotional disappointment and we move into the 6th chakra, how are you going to take this in your life and transform it? Will you stop here, or will you look at the idea that, you know what, I don't want to make the decision. I want you to make it for me. I don't want to do this. And part of this can be keeping people on the hook for family of origin, 6th chakra, issues that keep us stuck. So now, as I say this to you, and we look at 5 and 7 in the chakras, what if we look at that, but we take this away? Because now when we look at this in a reading and we go, 6th chakra, we only need to remember that the 5th chakra right before it is communicating something. And the 7th chakra right after it is communicating something. What becomes valuable is in the fifth chakra, it is something that you're expressing to the world that is creating an outcome. This is an outcome based on something my client or the person I'm reading has asked to have happen. So when you look at it that way, the next card tells us, is this person going to actually do it or not? Are they going to expect you to do it? So that's the thing that becomes important, is that the full conversation that circles around the sixth chakra card, the Six of Cups, is all connected to your emotional world because it's cups. So that's just a brief little overview of looking at it from a chakra perspective and ways to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me. And remember, go over to chakrawisdomtarot.com for free videos and more information about the deck. I'll see you next time.